welcome to this week's Midweek in the Word. It is always a delight to be beside of you.
Well, thank you.
Very much
It's
so.
a delight to have you beside of me.
Thank you very much. I hope so. We're coming up on 28 years
It's coming up.
of besideness.
And we still together.
And we still together. I love it. And there's 4 people watching that get that reference.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.
It's silly joke.
There's only 4 people watching.
Right.
Maybe 1 gets to reference. Sorry.
Yeah.
We are in Daniel and Ezra, and let's just say it. That Ezra reading, chapter 2.
The first one, yeah.
Sometimes I think
that's a lot of names and a lot of numbers. And there was a 666 in there. Did you notice that?
Ashley, I tried to scrub that from my mind.
Know.
That was a trauma from all of our earlier days in church, right? Mercy. Okay.
Wow.
And now we're diving into Daniel.
Way to start.
You know, Daniel is just an amazing narrative for the first 6 chapters. I remember Daniel and used to work in a department based on Dare to be a Daniel. And it was so good. And kids would come up to me and say, because it was a student project, they were like, I like Daniel, but it gets really weird at certain points. And I'm like, it does change gears. That was a phrase I would use.
Not weird just for the kids.
Yeah, it does change gears. And don't worry, adults have been trying to figure it out for a long time. But remember, everything God makes clear or everything that needs to be clear for us is clear. There's some things that are a mystery, and he is perfectly okay with that. And I'm so thankful for the scholarly work of those who've gone before us to help explain some of those things.
And I'm okay with those who don't explain it as much and still let us have a joyful life and a challenging life and
thank you, Lord,
a convicting life.
So we're going to hang out in Daniel, and we're talking just about I'm just kidding. We're not talking about biblical prophecy. We are going to talk about some beautiful things that emerged in Daniel. I'm looking at Daniel 10, I believe, and you are Daniel
3 and 4.
So why don't you start then? Start us off.
Yeah, so we're talking about Nebuchadnezzar, who, he's one of the ones that God uses in weird ways. Even though there was some humbling there, we don't point to Nebuchadnezzar traditionally and think, what a humble guy.
Right.
It's usually wow. Yeah. Remember the golden statue guy? That was him. And we see, we get really in the weeds of his idolatry, really, to himself. Here in chapter 3, it was interesting, as you start reading God's word more and more. I especially like having a fresh Bible every couple years to notice words differently, And
Ditto.
This time it was, look how many times, go through and highlight, underline, whatever, or just read how many times the statue Nebuchadnezzar had set up, or the gold statue the king had set up, or the statue I made. That's all that this chapter is about. It is a theme. It just keeps going on and on. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look what I've done. And the others recognize that it's done by him. Some of those are other people saying, yeah, the thing that the king set up. And then, and he, of course, notices it for himself. And not only do the 3 Hebrews that we typically think of in this scenario, not only are they rejecting it, God is rejecting that idolatry of self. And it's an old problem, and it's a problem we still have today. And it's more intense today, the idolatry of self, especially in the West, especially in the U.S. specifically, the idolatry of self.
And it's broadcast more today than it's ever been, too.
And, when you preach through and we talk about, what are your idols, what are the things that are getting in the way of God, we may be able to think of a celebrity getting in our way or something we're putting our money into, but I bet it would take a lot longer for us to admit that sometimes it's us, ourselves.
It's me.
It's not just a job so that we can have this. It's not just a thing. So, it is us. And we see this obsession with identity and self and trying to define ourselves. We have wrong assumptions about self-identity. It's exploded since the Enlightenment period. And I'm just going to interject here. We talked about this. You gave me the okay. If you have not read some of Carl Truman, but there's an initial
S.
Oh, is it S? That was A or R, but anyway, I'll take your word for it. Carl Truman, he's written several books in recent years, but the most recent one, which I think came out this year, was The Desecration of Man, and there's some subtitles there. But find that book; it will really help you if you're wrestling with am I just an old codger? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
do
my
I
word.
just, I know.
Codgety.
Yeah. Do I just think things are worse? Am I just hearing more about it because of social media? Well, when you read these books where it shows some scientific stuff and like following the cultural things, the pattern of what's happened, he does a really good job of saying, no, it's not you. It is.
Yeah.
It just is. The idolatry of self has just really the sense of autonomy.
So in that way, Nebuchadnezzar is a model.
Yeah, he's a prima donna. Yeah, he's a prima donna.
Not a model
to
follow, but a model of
yeah. So we're going to have to boldly stand and not bow to ourselves, not just to an idol somebody else has put up to try to take us away, not just Hollywood, not just these things, but we're going to have to not bow to ourselves on things. And we can't be forced to bow to others who have their own idolatry of self. So, we live in this age where, self-expression, that's a new thing. It really is. In the last couple 150 years, this idea that it's about me, not community, you bow to me, you cater to me, all these things. And that's really what we're seeing here. We're seeing this played out thousands of years ago through Nebuchadnezzar, through an image that, it doesn't say that it looks like Nebuchadnezzar, but after the dream... Yeah. And that this happens so quickly, seemingly, after the dream.
I doubt it's of a sheep, like a big statue of a...
Maybe it's a goat.
Giraffe or something.
I don't know. Or
so
a pig
tall.
or something weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so just the prayer that we would stand firm and avoid all idolatries to self, whether it's ourself or someone else's expression of their self, themselves. Yeah. It's very... right in our face.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And somebody talked a long time ago about the enemy in me. It's a play on words, but really just recognizing that our biggest threat is rarely from outside, but it's us dealing with us. Paul says it in the New Testament, right? Having the experiences he had, he says, I'm still fighting my flesh. I have to die daily. I have to mortify, that's King James, I think, mortify the deeds of the flesh, to crucify my flesh daily. Well, Daniel, back to that narrative in Daniel 10, he's prayed and asked God for help, and that's just quick context. And it wasn't even the nature of the request or the content of the request. It was the posture of Daniel's life in that moment. Again, not that he was holy and right, but what God was doing in him and how he was responding to what God was doing. There's just a great application for us today. In Daniel chapter number 10, verse 12, I'm just going to pick up where the angel starts to speak. The angel's talking to Daniel and says, but fear not. By the way, angel speaking to him, Daniel says, and behold, where was it? He was mourning, and he entered, and he lifted up his eyes, and he looked, and it was like a horrible thing that he saw. He was trembling and fell upon them, and like his strength was gone. He heard the sound of words, and as the words spoke, he fell on his face in a deep sleep. This does not match the description of folks who approach me and says, an angel spoke to me the other day. I'm just going to put that out there. Anyway, Daniel 10, and like the voice of angels, they always had to say, don't be afraid. So I'm betting they sounded, fear-inducing. Daniel 10, I'll get there. Verse 12, the angel speaking, and he says, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you, watch this, set your heart to understand and humbled yourself before your God, your words have been heard. And he goes on to say, and I have come because of your words. But I actually didn't get to the even answer of the prayer. I just was smitten with the posture of Daniel while he was praying. Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand. So there were days before that. Didn't say the first day of your life, but from the time when Daniel, there was a mind change. When he changed his mind to set in, I want to know the mind of God here. I need to be in line with God's way of thinking. You set your heart to understand. You humbled yourself. I don't have the answers. I can't do it. Prayer is an admission of our inability. Like H.B. Charles says, the things we don't pray about are the things we're telling God, I can handle this. So we got to be careful. You humbled yourself before your God. Your words have been heard. My explanation's pretty straightforward. I've kind of already covered it. But the posture of Daniel's heart, of his life, and of his prayer didn't guarantee an instant result. Because you read on, and there's this just strange narrative there about being restrained and anyway. The point is, the answer didn't come quickly. It wasn't a microwave answer. It was a crockpot answer.
But it was already on the way.
But it was already on the way. Yeah. Like, and even I think more important than it being on the way, than the answer Daniel needed coming, was that heaven heard. Like that Daniel, that the God of heaven was listening to this human praying. And so it didn't guarantee Daniel instant answers, but it did have heaven's attentions the way that I wrote it. It sounded poetic. I'm not sure. I probably should rewrite that. But anyway, the application works like this. Set your heart to understand. Humble yourself before the Lord. And then speak to the Lord. That's a great posture of prayer. Don't come demanding and then make God humble you and then him bring you understanding because he's had to take you out to the woodshed. Reverse the order. Lord, I want to understand. How can I understand? How can a man make his way pure? By getting in the Word, right? How do you change your mind? What's the renewing of our mind? By the washing of the water of the Word. Set your heart to understand. Humble yourself. And then seek the Lord. Speak to the Lord. My prayer. Daniel wasn't perfect, Lord, but there's a great deal that is instructive about his life. I seek your ways. I want to understand and know you more. I humble myself before you. Hear my cry, ... Meaning like, I can pour out my heart to the Lord because of what he's done in me and what he's hopefully continuing to do in me that's bearing fruit. Man, what a great passage. Just a great little posture of prayer there.
I've really enjoyed journeying through prayer with the ladies in a praying life. And I know you've read that book.
Yes.
And probably some of
not
the others
a related Miller. It is
no,
written by Miller, but not a related one.
But it's just been very refreshing to see the things that God cares about, the big and the small, and that he does lean in. We see him leaning into Daniel here, and that we can boldly approach, but not arrogantly.
Right.
We can boldly approach because of who God is, not because of who we are. And to see Daniel, who, I mean, this isn't like, oh, Daniel's humble. Like, I see that in this chapter. It's like, we've already seen that. Like, God, he is treasured. He is favored by pagans and his people alike.
It's remarkable.
And he's very humble. And he just does the thing he's supposed to do, right? He's not necessarily making waves where they don't need to be made.
Yeah. So I'll close with this, aesthetic. Just a modern day illustration. I'm not always the best at illustrations or stories connected to modern day. I just do more teaching, but and that sounded spiritual. It's not. No. It's something I'm working on. But I remember a good friend saying one Sunday in church, when we talk about Daniel's humility, different from my friends, who one Sunday in church, the pastor called the congregation and said, I want you to think of the most humble and spiritual person you've ever known. My friend had my attention. He looked at me and he said, Chad, I was so uncomfortable to know everybody in that room was thinking of me in that moment.
That's your favorite illustration of all time, isn't it?
It's one of my favorites.
You should give this individual like $5 every time that you use it.
I'd be broke. I'm close now, but I'd be broke. Yeah. I love him, though, and it's a great story. And if you know him, it just fits so well. This is true humility. It only comes from encountering the living God and recognizing he's God and we're not. And man, what a great reminder. We approach him with humility. This is great. All we're doing is the HEAR method. Highlight, explain, apply, respond. You can do it too. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. You can go to missionbiblechurch.org and then hit the /Bible. There's all kinds of helps there to point you to other resources that we use. Mm-hmm. You are using, in fact, we're not necessarily plugging anything, but you're using, this is beautiful. The women, it's the new women. There's another CSB Women's Study Bible that's from the previous generation. This is the new Women's Study Bible with brand new research and notes and content and things like that. I say new research.
Not content like Bible, but there's some things like some of you like to read little stories, narratives of people in the faith. Yeah, biographies of the faith, and maps and pictures of archaeological discoveries, and like really good quality, high quality photos.
I had used the men's ESV study Bible for a couple of years and had marked that thing up pretty well. And this year I have a larger version, don't worry, but I have switched to, for the first time, much to the chagrin of all my MacArthur friends that are fans, the MacArthur Study Bible, and completely different notes, right? Just really great textual insights, for which I'm grateful, and I have others, but this is pretty much my daily reading Bible.
Yeah.
If
and these, cares. When you say different notes, you're not saying that they conflict with what you've already learned and read so
not
much.
At all.
It's more like an enhancement of like, okay, these are looking at the historical narrative or the context of the time, or
the Life Application Bible, great example. It gives you more like, this is how to apply this text in your life. That's the forgive me, that's the angle. That's why it's called the Life Application Bible. MacArthur's is more textual criticism in the best way to actually bring out original languages. CSB does a great job of mirroring authorial intent and application. There's a whole host. And if you need a good study Bible, hit us up. We'll happily, we're not going to buy you one, but we'll point you to some good ones and you can get them on sale, I'm sure. Hey, join us this Sunday. Hey now. This Sunday is really different. And I know we've gone long, but let me just give an announcement about this Sunday, and I'll send out a separate email for this as well to our people. But this Sunday, there will be a small contingent gathering at 10 a.m. at the Keith Family YMCA.
An intimate gathering.
Thank you.
Let's call it that. An intimate gathering for prayer.
I like being beside you. They're just meeting for prayer. Here's why. Because the majority of our church will be gone. Significant number on mission. Well, they're all on mission, right? But the significant number that's going to be gone will be at a camp in one part of the state. And then another part of the group that's going to be gone are serving internationally on mission. And it just affects so many families. And so an intimate gathering of prayer is going to meet at 10 for a shorter time of gathering. And man, it's just going to be a great day. So if you want to be a part of that, that's this Sunday at 10 a.m. And then we'll have, I guess you'd say, regular worship gathering resuming the following Sunday in July.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to say something else. I was misreading the signal there.
Nice.
Hey, God bless you. We'll see you soon. Stay in the Word so the Word can get into you.